Hello and welcome back to Presentation Perfect. In this tutorial, I'm going to show you how to design glassmorphic slides in PowerPoint with animations. Let's get started. Let's begin with a blank slide. First, paste your image onto the slide and resize it so that it fills the entire area. Next, select the picture and open the Picture Format tab. Under Artistic Effects, choose the glass effect to apply that frosted look. Now make a copy of this image by pressing Ctrl D. On the duplicated image, remove the artistic effect so that it returns to its original look, and then place this clean version directly on top of the glass effect image. Then, open the Crop menu. Select Crop to Shape, and choose the rounded rectangle shape. Go back into the crop settings and adjust the shape as needed. Hold down the Control key as you drag from the top so that the size reduces evenly from both sides. I'm also going to quickly tweak the rounded edges by returning to the Crop to Shape feature. To make the rounded edges stand out more clearly, apply a white outline to the shape. Keep adjusting the crop and outline until you are satisfied with the overall layout. Next, we'll add the text. Insert a text box in the center of the slide. For the main title, I'm using the font Arial Black. Increase the font size, change the color to white, I'm also going to make it uppercase. Then align it neatly in the middle of the slide. Now let's create the picture overlay effect. Duplicate the cropped shape and position it over the original. Go to Picture Format, select Remove Background, and keep only the part of the image that you want to highlight. In this example, it's the leaf. Once that's done, position the overlay carefully on top of the original and remove the picture's borders. You can crop the overlaid image slightly to make it easier to work with the text underneath. Next, apply a subtle shadow to the title text to give it more depth. You can now add your secondary text and adjust its placement and size as needed. I'm just going to increase the size of the text for greater balance. For the area on the right side of the slide, you can insert any additional information or content you'd like. In this example, I'll simply paste some mock copy. Finally, for a finishing touch, I'm going to insert an arrow icon. Change its color to white so that it stands out clearly, and position it neatly on the slide. For this next slide, we're going to insert a new image and have it fill the entire slide. I'm using this leafy background. Now I'm going to format the background and change it to a dark shade of green because we're going to increase the image's transparency. So I'll go to Picture Format and adjust the transparency. Once that's done, we're going to duplicate the image by pressing Ctrl D. Then, in Format Picture, remove the transparency and overlay it on top of the transparent one. Now go to Artistic Effects and apply the glass effect. Then go to Crop to Shape and choose the rounded rectangle option. Now go back to Crop and size the rectangle down to your liking. Remember to hold Control as you drag if you want to size each side down evenly. Then add a white picture border and adjust the edges as I'm doing here. Once you're happy with the shape, press Ctrl D to duplicate it and place the copy to the side. I'll repeat this until I have 4 rectangles. You can create as many as you need for your presentation. I'm just doing 4. I want all the rectangles to fit on the slide, so I'm selecting them all and resizing them evenly. Now I'll move them together. To make sure they're spaced correctly, use the Align Middle and Distribute Horizontally options in the Arrange settings. Now we'll make sure the cropped images match the background. Select each shape, go to Crop, and align the crop overlay with the original image underneath. You'll see the leaf pattern flow naturally from one rectangle to the next. I'll repeat this for the remaining rectangles, making small adjustments as needed. Now it's time to add our text. I'll insert a text box, switch the font to Arial, increase the size, change the color to white, and then type in your text. I'm rotating mine and positioning it at the top left of the rectangle like this. Then duplicate the number for each rectangle and update each one. I'm going to make sure they're all aligned and evenly spaced. Now all that's left is to add your text. I'm just pasting mine in. And there you have it. Now let's move on to the next slide. Since I'm going to be using the same background image, I'll just duplicate the second slide. Okay, so after removing the 4 rectangles, we're going to start by duplicating the background image, removing its transparency and applying the glass effect as we did in the previous slide. Then we're going to go to Crop to Shape and select the circle. Next, go back to Crop and adjust the shape of the circle. You can hold Shift as you adjust the size so that it remains even. Position it like this, and then go to Crop and align the image within the cropped circle with the glass background image. Then just hit Ctrl D to duplicate it. Place the duplicate to the side and add another circle the same way. Now, simply align and space them apart using the Arrange feature. I'm also going to give the images a white outline. Then select each circle, go to crop, and align the images within the circle with the background. Now it's time to add your image. I'm choosing one from PowerPoint stock repository. Just size it down and position it over the first circle. Then go to crop to shape and select the circle. Crop it down to the same size as the background circle. Next, select the image, go to Picture Format, and click Remove Background. I'm going to keep the bird and remove the background. Then I'm simply going to duplicate the image, place it over the original, go to Picture Format, and then simply crop in the beak of the bird, leaving the rest of the body out. Make it so that the beak pops out of the circle. Once you're done, hold Shift, select both cropped images and hit Ctrl-G to group them together. Then simply adjust the position of the whole thing and repeat the process for the next image. I'm using a snake for the second circle. I'll go through the process one more time. Start by reducing the image down to the size of the circle. Choose a size where a part of the subject of the image, in this case the snake, pops out of the circle. Next, crop the image to a circle and have it be the same size as the one under. Then remove the background of the image, keeping just the subject. Finally, duplicate the image, overlay it on top of the original, and crop in the part that you want to make pop. Group both cropped images and you're done. Once you're done with all three circles, just add in your text and align everything. Moving on to the animations. For the second slide, I'm just going to group all the elements of each of the rectangles together by selecting them and pressing Ctrl-G. Then I'm going to select them. Go to Animations and choose the float in effect. In the animation pane, I'm going to have the effect start after previous for all of them, except the first, which I'll set to start with previous. On the first slide, I'm going to keep it minimal and just animate the arrow by adding the teeter emphasis effect. Then, in the timing options, I'm going to have the effect duration set to medium and the repeat until end of slide. You can also set it to play with previous if you want it to start automatically. Now for the third slide, I'm first going to make sure that the heading and subtext of each point is grouped. Then I'm going to select the first image circle and apply the fade animation. For the text, I'm choosing the float in animation. I'm going to set the image to appear with previous and the text to appear after previous. Using the animation painter, I'm going to animate the rest of the circles and text. Make sure that both the circles and the images within the circles are grouped. Now, just ensure that the animation sequence is set to your liking in the animation pane. In this case, I'm setting them all to play after previous, with the images appearing before the text. And that's it. You're done. If you like this tutorial and want more creative slide design ideas, be sure to support the channel by hitting like, subscribe, and dropping a comment below. Thanks for watching and see you in the next tutorial.